Hello everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my Minecraft World Tour. As you can see, it's now raining, and of course it starts raining immediately when I try to record. But that's okay, because we have a Riptide Trident, and that means that life is awesome when it rains. Check this out. No need for rockets when it's raining, that's for sure. And that is wicked. When it's raining, you can fly through the air with this thing. And the computer is like, I've noticed that you're flying through the air with Riptide. That's pretty awesome. Love it. Okay, so now that we've broken our computer, let's go ahead and sleep through the night, and we'll get going with the rest of this world tour. I was messing with an audio issue that I've been having in every single gaming video that I've posted on my YouTube channel so far, and it's not super extensive, the catalog of videos on my channel, but I had an audio ducking issue where loud game volume was causing a reduction in my mic audio, and I had a solution to that worked out, and it was that the audio card for my Razer headphones, I had enabled a setting where I had noise reduction on, and so it was messing up that audio level. So now it's constant, and that's a beautiful thing. Here's something I didn't show last time. This is just a simple redstone thing that is a dispenser, and it takes input right here through this barrel, and I put all of my eggs manually that I collect from a chicken pen area into this bucket, or into this barrel rather, and it shoots them against this tree, and whenever a chicken hatches, it goes right into the pen. So that's how I like to handle that. You can of course do that completely automatically if you really wanted to, but I like that contraption. I do have another world where I built one that is automatic, but I like the setup I have here for now. So let's see. This, by the way, you might have noticed that empty item frame last time. I had a thing there before, which was a Nautilus shell. That's what I'm trying to think of, but I used it to craft a conduit. That's why it's empty. I don't just have an empty item frame. Yeah, we'll keep that. And we need this. Put this in our thing here. Here's something I didn't show last time as well. This is a trash can. Again, simple redstone, and I can make anything simple be difficult. So I'm sure this is not the most efficient way to do this, but just having the piston there that retracts that block and exposes that lava pit was difficult for me to route the redstone to the lever being in this position. Like the lever being on this block face, that was difficult for me, but there we go, and I decided to use like this kind of covering to make up for that position. And I think it looks fine. Okay, so let's do a little walk. So what I didn't show you last time was just kind of a general stroll through this side of the base. So coming down this nice pathway and through the vines here, you come to this structure, and this is the entrance to my mine. So minecart is down at the bottom right now, but not done decorating this, just kind of had a little facade going. This is where some of my bulk storage is for blocks like cobblestone, diorite, granite, things like that. And here's some extra blocks of less common things that I didn't put in this basic sorting system. You probably know how these work. This is just a regular sorting system. Come up here and you place stuff in here, and it goes down this hopper line and gets sorted into the appropriate ones. And if there's no item filter for whatever you put in there, then it comes in here. And so you can see all the stone bricks that I just put in there are coming back into this chest. So there's something I didn't show. Nothing too exciting about my mine, but we can go down here and ride the mine cart up because it's kind of fun. This is the first mine entrance that I made at the start of this world 2 years ago. And I still use it when I need to go mining. There's lots of different passages, and I think it's pretty fun. You can go that way, you can go that way, and then it goes really deep. So I know you can activate this with a lever. I just haven't bothered to do that yet. Whee! Okay, so out of that building and onto the next. This is a garden shed. So this is where I keep most of the storage for like my plant related stuff. Also have saplings up here and some extra bones and bone meal. Some garden tools. Yeah. And then beyond that, we have this structure. And this is a freezer. This is supposed to be my meat locker. Check that out. This was full not too long ago. I go through this. My main food source in the game is chicken. Because I have that chicken farm. And with the looting on the sword, all you have to do is have some chicken on hand and you get a bunch of chicken. So yeah, there's that. And again, can't show you what's on the right, but here's where we kind of left off last time, and you saw that structure. Something I failed to show last time was where that passage ends up from my catacombs. There's a passage that has to end somewhere, right? It ends right here, inside this smokestack. I'm still working on the lore, but I think the lore behind this will be something like the builders of this mine, or the mill, I mean, the builders of the mill would have discovered this by accident and decided to cover it up for some kind of reason. Like maybe there was some kind of hidden secret they found down here that they didn't want to be found, and so they built their chimney over it so that it would stand a very small chance of being discovered. But yeah, here we go. And if you go down there, past all those mobs, that's where the catacombs are that I was showing you last time. Okay, something else having to do with my mine is this building. So this building is kind of a neat over-the-water structure that I did that's similar in style to the village buildings across from my main house. So this is a just another like temporary like housing situation, or maybe somebody like a, you know, a surfer lives here, something like that. Somebody chill lives here and just kind of hangs out, comes out on their balcony here, maybe does some fishing, maybe you know, sleeps up here. I don't know. But the purpose of the building for gameplay is to be the structure upon which this is at the bottom. And this is just a quick way to get to my lush cave, which I found. And the lush cave I found naturally by mining and going through all the way from the surface, just digging and digging until I found stuff. And if you go that way, you eventually get back up to the surface where that sorting system was and the creeper farm and everything. So here's the lush cave where I get most of my what's it called, clay for trading. It's huge. There's abandoned mine shafts in it and all kinds of stuff. You can see here I had some kind of idea going on about maybe like a modern or something special type of build for in the cave here. I've never really done a in a cave build like this. I wanted it to be like in the cliff face underground, and it's unfinished, as most things are, but had kind of a unique interior for me going. Very busy ceiling, sort of like it though. And here's a design that I saw some other people do online, where you can make stoves out of mine carts with hoppers and some campfires. I think that looks kind of neat. It's supposed to be like a regular looking kitchen with a bar and a table. And this, I thought this was kind of cool. You have the sectional here, and you can hide the fireplace if you want. That's French stone. I guess what I'll call it when I make up redstone. French stone. And here's bedroom. Still working on this, obviously, but there's also another level down here, which you can see from the outside. And this is going to be I don't know, some other kind of hangout room. But I thought this is kind of a neat idea and definitely has some potential for some cool building in here. I think I failed to show it last time, but this is going to be a dock area that I'm going to continue to refine. But this would be like if tourists or guests are coming to stay on the island, then their ship maybe comes and docks right here, and this is the first thing they see. And I want to line this area along this big path here with booths like this. And I was thinking of like when you step off the dock in like Assassin's Creed Black Flag and you see some vendors and things like that, I want to kind of line this area with a few of those and going into the hotel here. And as I saw last time, briefly, because it was night and there were things chasing me, this is just like a little like 3 building kind of rendition of a village with some carrots here, and that's where I fish, is out of the back of that building, as we saw last time. This is a bamboo farm, although it's not redstone or anything like that. It's literally just come in here and chop it down and replant it. And you get so much just by having it like this that I've never felt the need to actually make any kind of automated farm. But I really like having a kind of secret little, gazebo hideout like this. Just the idea of that sort of thing in real life has always intrigued me. And this tower I like a lot. Again, just simple with some vines wrapping around it. Sort of like a little garden outlook area. Not the tallest tower on the property, but something that sticks out and kind of adds to this area. And I like the just simple stone construction on it. And as I said, I like having a way to get all the way on top of everything if I can. And you can't get on top of a wall unless you fly on top of it. But, as close as you can to being on top of a roof, I like having access to that. So, moving on. As you saw, this is my nether portal. I need to build this out and make something cool. I want to make like maybe a circular shape out of it, but still haven't done that yet. Nothing too special in the nether. Haven't done any nether builds yet, but considering it. There's some mobs underground here. Need to take care of that. This is underneath this big custom jungle tree that I'm making, which is why it's dark. And there's some lanterns around. I'm going to decide what exactly to do with that. But here is just kind of a one-off idea, just like most of my stuff. I just wanted to have a tinted glass dome kind of greenhouse place with something other than grass or dirt occupying every block on the ground. And I like the idea of being able to sleep in here. So that's why there's a bed. So yeah, there's something on every block on the floor here. And I just kind of like the way that this turned out. I lied. I swear there was something on every block. Well, got some work to do. There's something on nearly every block in here. So I like this building. It's kind of a vibe. And this kind of like odd, maybe kind of like the movie Labyrinth structure to get in there is kind of intriguing, I think. So, creeper hole, must fix. Over here is the back of the building you shall not see yet, and this iron farm that we saw last time. Yep. And I didn't actually show you these towers. This is just like I just built this entrance to this hole that goes literally nowhere out of those leaves. I think that looks kind of neat. I'll show you these towers. I think beyond the towers, the only other thing left on the island surface to show you is this. And this is my, look, soul speed. Whee! This is my netherwort farm. I like having a weird kind of greenhouse structure just for these. I think that looks kind of cool, and don't need them very often, so I don't need a huge farm for it. But up here, this is just some building blocks for the tower, but I was using this for storage for the iron. I need to move some of the iron from the iron farm. There's poppies from the iron farm. I need to move some of the iron farm storage into here, because I was using it for that. But if you go up here, almost to the top, then you have the entrance to this other sticky outy level here. And this is the tower that I use for brewing. So my brewer's literally just a brewer's up here, and some brewing ingredients, a shulker with some stuff in there. But yeah, this is where I use, this is what area I use for just the brewing. And of course, you can go up here and get on top of it. You can see what I mean about wanting to have some sort of roof access. There's our sniffer farm down there, or farm for the stuff that the sniffers dig up. Torch flower and pitcher pods. So if we go down here, we can go up to the top of the main tower here. You can see there, what are these things called? Can't remember, but holes where you can shoot arrows out of if you're needing to defend your castle. Here is Dragon Egg, and it's kind of weak as far as decoration for that, but that's where I decided to put it. And you can, of course, get up there, and that's where I began the video. We'll go ahead and sleep through this night. Alright, so that's basically everything on the surface here. Let's go ahead and look at this building, which I didn't show last time. So this island is not naturally a pale garden. I put all this pale moss and stuff down and put these trees here. You can guess what's in here based on the noises. I think I'm going to convert this entire building exteriorly to pale moss style, or pale oak style. So here's what's in here. Yeah, you guessed it. Villager trading is in here. Here's our central room. If you know, you know. These guys, I don't have an emerald farm, like a, that was called a raid farm. I don't have a raid farm in this world yet, but I'd like to build one. The main way I get my emeralds is I trade all of these guys clay for emeralds. And I just go get clay from the lush cave and trade these guys for it. So all the masons, they supply me with emeralds. And then I have book trades for everything I need for armor and tools. These guys are kind of the ones that were duds. I didn't really end up needing those. But if you go back here, there's several rooms for all the different trades here. Are you annoyed of the village sounds yet? Villager sounds? I will not turn them off. We go down here, and there's more. Haven't labeled these yet, but let's get out of here. It's a little noisy. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to the redstone portion of the program, where I'm going to show you more of my farms and stuff. We saw this farm last time. It's a honey block farm, so I won't talk about it too much again, but Cub Fans video taught me how to do that. Over here, we have a resin farm. And this was just a YouTube tutorial. Sorry, don't remember who it was. This is not my design, but the way that this works is it only works at nighttime. Resin comes into these chests from, you can see here, there's creaking hearts underneath all these pale oak logs on both sides. So right here is the only spawnable place for creaking. So at night, you stand down here, creaking show up, and you whack them. And since that doesn't kill the creaking, it just sends resin up to the wood up there, and some simple redstone piston pushes the logs, which breaks off the resin, and the resin ends up in there. So that's where I get my resin from. And I mean, you could just stand there for like a second, or a few minutes, I mean, you know, realistically, and then you got basically all the resin you need, or all the resin I need for my applications. So let's go down here, and I'll show you what other redstone I've got going on. I mentioned last time that I love Hermitcraft, and Cub Fan is one of my absolute favorites, and he is a redstone genius, as is Etho, and as is Tango. Cub Fan, I happen to use a lot of his stuff in this world. Oh, what's this do? That's Cub Fan's design. Cub had this a long time ago, like 7 years ago. I haven't been watching that long, but I just looked up what tutorials he has, and that was one of them, is how to do this pretty simple elevator. I won't get into the specifics because I won't even pretend to understand what a T flip-flop is, but there it is. There's the wiring for the button, and pretty simple redstone with slime blocks and immovable blocks, here being the crying obsidian and obsidian. Yeah. And it's pretty hard to break, which is nice. and yeah, not too many problems with it. I really like that. Straight away here is I believe it's broken right now. I think something happened to the bees that were in those hives, but this is my honeycomb farm, and yeah, no, I hadn't gotten to that just yet. But honeycomb farm, and this is super duper simple, and I actually mean it, where it's just dispensers with shears in there, and when the hives fill up with honey, it shears it and goes into the water column, and there goes the honeycomb. This is an experiment room where I was looking at some different ideas for how to make a crafter for rockets, and I hadn't really come up with something that I love. But if you have something, if you have a good rocket crafter, then where input paper and gunpowder, and it comes out with rockets, and it's not like super annoying, let me know. That's a hopper clock. Hello, Etho. Thank you. Thank you for that knowledge. Down here is a passage down to the mine. And I came down here because I remembered that I hadn't showed you this. This is one of the most crucial farms I have. A super passive and inefficient gunpowder farm. And I'll free cam up here. Yep, it's a creeper farm, and it operates by, thankfully this is a plains biome, not a jungle biome, so the, what are they called? Snow golems. Snow golems can live here. Yeah, biome sparse jungle? Okay, maybe it's not plains. Not plains, it's sparse jungle, which apparently classifies as one of the biomes where those guys can live, so they don't immediately melt. When creepers show up, which is fairly rare, they get shot by the snow golems, which aggroes them, and they go and fall into the pit in the middle and end up providing gunpowder. So go back up here. We'll go back into the under the house area. Again, all of this is a decorative work in progress, so don't judge me too much. Over here, haha, this I am kind of proud of. I knew conceptually how to make this work, where you just needed to supply all the furnaces with fuel and what you want to input to smelt. Was able to figure that out on my own, because that's not really too bad. Here's your input. So this goes into the minecart here. This is where you would put fuel. All the fuel is pretty decent, though. I've just been using coal. So the input is there already in the hopper minecart. Hit go. The minecart goes and supplies all the furnaces. I believe this is 30 exactly. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I wanted to make 30 or something in that realm. Might have had to delete one. I think it's 30. So provides you pretty quickly with whatever you want. Boom, 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 boom. So I really like that. That's a good way to get resupplied on food, or making like stone out of cobblestone, which I don't do too much because I have the silk touch pickaxe. But if you wanted to make smooth stone out of the regular stone, this is great for that. Anything like that you would need to smelt quickly. So good stuff there. This is a passage. The reason why this is glass is this is a passage that goes from the outside of the base under this and to a spot right next to the sorting system. So you could actually swim from outside to the sorting system if you wanted to. This I'm proud of. Thank you, Cub Fan. This is Hermitcraft Season 10 Cub Fan's slime farm, which he built early on. Let's go down here and check out the meat of it. Why did I say that? Let's check out what it looks like. So this is the crafting room for the slime balls. So here's a little observation area. I'll go cheaty head for this. So this is a slime chunk. So you dig out this kind of shape in the chunk where you have all these platforms. And no slimes here right now, but they show up gradually. And this is right under my house where I'm working all the time. So this passively works super well. This right here in the middle, you can see if I highlight the chunk borders, F3G. So you can see that that middle here, this is the slime chunk. And so you've got maximal space here for them to spawn. There's one. We'll see how it works here. So this guy will fall down when he eventually randomly kind of falls off. Maybe it won't stand here and actually wait for it, but they fall down here, land on the magma, and the slime balls get pushed into this corner down here. And right here, here we go. We will demonstrate now. So the slime balls go into a hopper, which is right here. They're directed by these two chests into this hopper, and they end up going into this crafter, which will craft slime balls when there's 9, or it'll craft slime blocks rather when there's 9 slime balls in there. So there we go. And when it happens, oop, you just saw it shoot up there. When it happens, it gets crafted, it goes into here, which goes into a hopper, into a dropper, and the item gets immediately shot out into this water stream, up this bubble column, and into the chest. So here's our elevator back up. Slime blocks end up right here. Thank you, Cub. This is thank you, Etho. So this is a moss farm, and haven't fully made it automatic yet, like refilling its own bone meal. I get conceptually how to do it, but he didn't do that part in the tutorial, so I haven't bothered to figure it out yet. But operates with the hopper clock here. So the hopper clock is running, which powers the sides here, which push the stone. And yeah, there's a moss block here, which is being bone mealed by this dispenser every pulse of this. So that creates more moss in place of some of the stone, and when the pistons push it, it breaks and is getting collected over there. So there you go. About as much redstone I know is that I understand how the hopper clock's working, because it's passing items back and forth, and that sends a pulse. And then over here, I know this is a monostable circuit over here. Don't really understand what that means though. And yeah, there's some repeaters. So anyway, I'm learning. Don't give me too much criticism about that. I also am fully aware that this collection system that I cobbled together for this is not efficient. It gets super backed up, but it does make bone meal. So that's cool. I really like that, and yeah, as you can see, it's slow, but it does make the bone meal. There, see, there was one. So I can make that a lot better. There's definitely potential there. Here's my 2 beacons. This is a concrete maker. Let me go get some concrete powder, and I'll demonstrate how this works. All you do is you stand here. You can put some concrete here. Put this in your offhand, have a pickaxe, and then just continually place and break. And you can see that in the offhand it's being resupplied by the dropper above. So you just do this until you got as much as you want, and it's right here. So you can make concrete super easily out of the powder there without having to go to a water source that's natural. So that's a nice simple machine. This is potential for growth. Just an area that I was mining out for more stuff like this eventually. Alright, I mentioned that I don't have any nether builds really, but I do have some farms here. So as you can see, my portal links up to the nether roof. Constantly am using this for travel. Here's kind of a janky building that I started working on to mark spawn up here. Or at least a home portal rather. This is a collection system that's really poorly done, not well done, for a guardian farm. So this has a sorting system that is supposed. I did the sorting system. That's why it looks this way. It's supposed to pull out black dye and put it there when it receives the black dye. And wait a minute, is that yeah, it's supposed to pull out black dye somewhere, and it's also supposed to collect all these things, the prismarine shards. and the other prismarine bits. So let me go to the surface again and show you how this works. So you can see that there's a portal there, and the Guardians are going to fall down onto that fire pit. So here, let's go check out the temple where it starts. Here it is. So the design that I saw for this is you make this structure, you cover this section of the temple with soul sand so that it makes the entire thing into a bubble column, and it pushes all of the Guardians that spawn there instantly up into the portal there in the middle with that barrier around it. So you can see that they get sucked into the nether, and since they're despawning so quickly, other ones come in quickly too. That's why there's so many, and they go into that collection system. So that's how that works. Let's go check out the nether again to see how it's working. So you can see here that it did pull out some black dye because some squid typically gets caught in there. You can see that in this chest, all of this stuff is collecting, and those numbers were going up, but we weren't there for long, so it didn't add too much. But you really don't have to stand there long for it to really fill up. And yeah, you can get pretty much all the prismarine you need just from that, which is awesome. Very, very useful. And you don't have to drain the whole temple to make a Guardian farm work. So that's real nice. This I wanted to make inspired by Etho, although this is not the Froglight farm design that he used in Hermitcraft Season 10. This is yet another one that I don't remember who it was that I saw on YouTube. But the way that this Froglight farm works, of course, frogs down there, and I got some snow blocks slowing down the magma cubes there, trying to attack the snow golems or the iron golems in the middle, and the magma cubes fall down, and the frogs eat them and produce froglights. Yep, there it goes. You can see them eating the magma cubes. There. And there's froglights floating down there. The collection system is right here. If you just turn on this minecart, it'll go pick them all up and deposit them here. And here. Froglight farm. Woot! And that about wraps it up for the majority of the stuff in this world. And I know you're probably potentially thinking to yourself, wow, you've been doing this for 2 years and this is what you got? Yes, as I said, I'm not any kind of Minecraft super genius, and I started playing for the first time in 2020, and this is kind of representative of my growth since then. And I like it a lot. I've really enjoyed it, and continue to look forward to adding to this world more and more. I've got lots of ideas and things that I want to improve and build that I haven't. So thank you so much for checking it out, and yeah, come back for more. There will be more Minecraft videos. Thanks for watching. Peace be unto thee.